Hey everyone at Rio Linda High School, I am performance painter David Garibaldi at Garibaldi Arts. And before we get into what Creator X is, here's an example of what I do. So that's an example of what I do as a performance painter. I do about 100 shows a year around the world. Some past shows have included performing for President Obama at one of his last events at the White House. I was a finalist on a TV show called America's Got Talent, and I've opened up for everyone from Snoop Dogg to Sting and everyone in between. But before all that, I was just a student growing up in the Sacramento area. I went to Sheldon High School, and it was about my sophomore, junior year of high school where I was into graffiti at the time, but I walked in the classroom of Mr. Sullivan, and he introduced me to a new art form called animation, where I could bring my images and my paintings to life. And one of the things that he told me is like, look, David, I don't want to change who you are, I just want to change why and where you do it. So I started spending more time in the classroom, less time in the streets painting, and I started learning the art of storytelling, how to cut and edit sound, and really how to bring these images to life. I had taken this philosophy that I learned from Sullivan, applied it to my career immediately, and went on to pursue my career for the past 15 years. Over time, I had some philanthropic goals. Sullivan continued to push students out into the professional animation, arts, media, and entertainment world. And we recently came together to form this nonprofit called Creator X. I'm so excited to introduce you guys to Creator X. When I was 25 years old, I set a goal to raise $1 million for various nonprofits and charities by the time I turned 30. Well, not only did we meet that goal, we've since raised over $4 million for different charities and nonprofits worldwide. As time went on, I kind of looked in my own heart and thought, what could I do with this platform and this passion beyond helping others continue to raise money for their causes? So I partnered with my old high school animation teacher to create Creator X. We want to multiply creators in this world by giving them the tools and the inspiration to create. And we're starting this summer with an Elite Skills Art Camp. Now, there's so much more that I can't wait to share with you, but today, marking 15 years of starting my art career, is one of the best days to introduce you to the world of Creator X. So that's a little bit of the inspiration behind Creator X, why we started it. But this summer, we're starting with an art camp that you'll be able to apply to. I'll share a little bit about that in just a second, but the camp will be July 12th and 13th. It'll be the 2 days, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. each day, and we're only gonna be accepting 120 students for this first camp. We're gonna start each day with a keynote to get you fired up, ready for the day to create, and we're also gonna include training demos throughout the day, and you'll be hitting 4 classes that focus on one, the digital realm, which I'll get to in a little bit, traditional media, story, and of course, one of my favorites, performance. And in each class, it'll be broken down into even more specific training. So I want to share a little bit more about what each of these pillars you'll be learning and how it'll be structured. In the digital pillar or the classroom, we want to introduce you to virtual reality, which is kind of a new, gonna be a new standard for entertainment in the future. Luckily for us, Sullivan has experience training students like yourself into introducing you into this. So we're gonna start the class off by kind of just introducing you to virtual reality, getting your hands on it. But we're also gonna move on and start teaching you a little bit about animation, character animation, how to bring your images to life, using the tools and the machines that we'll have in the classroom. The next pillar, the next class will be traditional. I will actually be teaching the first part of it, which will teach you about caricature, portraits, which is my specialty. But later on in the class, you're gonna be learning about figure drawing, about how the body moves and sits, how it carries its weight, and to help you better understand as you're creating these animated pieces or bringing your stories to life, how do humans and how do figures move. The next classroom and pillar story, no matter what you're doing, whether it's in arts, media, and entertainment, or whether it's in the business place, you've got to learn how to, one, tell your story, or tell the story about the project or idea that you want to get across. One of the exercises we're going to work on is working on your 30-second pitch about your life. Another important sort of backbone to arts, media, and entertainment is learning how to storyboard. So we'll be helping you with that. That'll be one of the classes in the story pillar. In the last classroom, the last pillar will be performance. As you're telling stories and as you're bringing these characters to life, we also want you to learn about improv and how to take ideas in the moment, how to apply them, and we also want to get you up and moving. We don't want you just sitting in the classroom, just drawing and painting every day. And so we're going to teach you about improv. We want to teach you about character, how to move like your character, and what physical traits portray heroes, villains, and some other characters that may be in your story that you're bringing to life. All right, so let's get into a little bit more detail about what the day will look like. Day one, after you get registered, after you get in, we're gonna have an opening keynote, probably from myself and Sullivan, just something to get you fired up and inspired for the day. Then the 120 students will split off into 4 groups. Each of you will hit your first class, whether it's digital, traditional, story, performance, and you'll be in that class for about 3 hours. There'll be an opening demo to start, and then throughout the class, you'll actually get a chance to get your hands on either the technology or actually get involved in a story or performance exercise. From there, obviously we'll have lunch. We want to make sure you're fed and fueled for the rest of the day. After lunch, actually during lunch, you'll also be introduced to some other demos. That's where you'll be able to get your hands on things like the virtual reality painting, any digital painting, or any other things that you didn't get your hands on in other classes. After lunch, you'll go on to your next class. You'll be in there for another 3 hours again with a demo and the actual hands-on time. And of course, we'll end the day, the first day, with sort of a Q&A session, a time where you can share about what you learned in a class that maybe someone will have the next day and vice versa. But just a way to, one, send you off to share what you learned, and then again to get you fired up about the next day. So day 2, very similar schedule. You're gonna come in, get registered, get ready for the day. We'll have an opening keynote, speaker, demo. You'll go off to your first class for the day. And then we'll have our lunch. You go to your second class for the day. But the end of this is gonna be my favorite part. I'll be doing we'll call it a Creator X experience or a live experience. And I'll be closing out the second day with a full performance that will not only, one, go into more detail about my story, but also I wanna teach you about how to use paint and how to use it on your journey as a creator. So we've done something similar to this at another local high school, Hiram Johnson, and let me give you just a little example of what the Creator X live experience is like. Check it out.
I only look back on everything and realize that I used paint on my journey, and I don't know what you have to go back to and deal with outside of these walls in this school. I'm sure it's incredibly tough, frustrating. I can't even imagine some of you the situation you have to deal with on a daily basis to even get here. But I want you to keep this in mind, to use paint. That one thing that you love, to use it to apply passion, action, intent, new in this last thing, to teach, to lead.
So I'm gonna close with a couple things. One, you can apply to be a part of this Creator X camp, again, taking place July 12th and 13th. We're only allowing 500 applications and we'll only be accepting 120 students. One of the most important things you need to know about this process, yes, tell us about yourself, but at the end, tell us about what you'll gain from this experience or what you want to gain from the experience, and it'll help us decide if you are accepted to the program. Last thing I want to share is, why are we doing this camp and why are we doing Creator X? Mr. Sullivan has this quote where he says that talent is evenly distributed, but opportunity is not. I realized that I was very fortunate and lucky to be at Sheldon High School at a very specific time where I was open to wanting to grow as an artist. And I realize that you may not have these programs at your school, but we want to start to make those even more available. And that's why we're doing this Campus Summer. To know that you, as a talented artist or creator, all you need is the inspiration and the tools. So I'm David Garibaldi. Thank you so much for watching this. Again, apply April 30th through May 7th, 1 week to apply. And we will see you at the Creator X Camp this summer.